What's up, Western Iowa Tech students? I have some special guests today. This is the ladies of the TRIO program located on Western Iowa Tech's campus. What up, ladies?
Hello.
All right. Hey, you know, we could be lagging behind on the internet stuff, so we're asking that our audience stay and bear with us, right? So the TRIO program, y'all, is on Western Iowa Tech's campus, and it's one of the things that I used to do when I first got hired at Western Iowa Tech, right? And I like to think of TRIO as turning roadblocks into opportunities, right? Because I think that's what these ladies do every day. And you know what? They do it at home when in quarantine as well. And that's kind of what we're going to discuss. So if you're a TRIO student out there, or you want to transfer to a four-year college, or you're a first-generation college student, you need to get in on this interview. So what I'm going to do, y'all, is I'm going to ask you some questions, right? And I'm certainly sure that you can answer them for us. So, but I think I'm gonna target you just so I can hear all of your voices, right? So, and any questions on anything before we start this? It's like a game show.
Nope. Let's go on.
Okay, so I guess I would say, Lily, what is the TRIO program? What is it?
Well, Mike, back in the years, the history of the TRIO program is progressive. It started with Upper Bound, which emerged out of the Economic Opportunity Act back in 1964. This was in response to the administration's war on poverty. Now, in 1965, Talent Search, that was the second program outreach to students. And it was created as part as the Higher Education Act. Now, in 1968, that's when Student Support Services was authorized by the Higher Education Amendment.
Wow.
And it became the third program is in a series of educational opportunity program. This is why, Mike, the program is called TRIO, because it started with three programs.
Wow.
Now, after that, there has been new programs added to, such as McNair program.
The McNair program.
Now, the TRIO program at Western Iowa Tech started back in 1996. If I recall, Brenda Porter, if you remember her, Mike, she was the first person that wrote the grant. Remember Brenda?
Yeah, shouts out to Brenda, right?
She wrote the first grant. And ever since then, back in 1996, we have had the Student Support Service on our campus. And we've been fortunate enough that we've been able to serve students every year.
Wow.
Since I've been at Western Iowa Tech since 1997, that's when I graduated, but I started in TRIO in 99. Yes, in 99. I became a director about 7-8 years ago. And since then, you know, we've been providing service, but I'm going to let the coordinators talk about services that we provide.
Okay.
But it is a fun program. It's a fun program. Right now, we are by the federal government. We have fundings to support 180 students per year. We do academic support, personal support, and financial support. Activities, I'm going to let the coordinators talk all about it.
All right. You know, Lily, I was thinking of 1999. For some reason, it reminds me of Prince, right? You know, 2000 party. Okay. Yeah, it does. Now, activities, I got something for you, Trang. I got a question for you, right? So what is in the typical day, right, of a TRIO employee, especially at home in quarantine, opposed to being at work?
Well, I think what I would like to start off first is to talk about how it's still the same. So we're providing options to review with the students their progress, their academic and personal status, because at this time, with everything that's going on, we have more resources that need to be sought after, but too many are afraid to ask for it or don't know where to look. So we want to provide that information to our students, those who maybe not want to go on Facebook or Canvas or email or text. I mean, there's so many modes of communication. We try to reach out on all topics, so that way no one's left out of the loop. But we also continue, discussing goals in a place in our lives right now where things are paused, but our goals are still ongoing, and we need to keep doing what we've been doing to make sure that those goals are met. We still work with careering, reviewing scholarship essays, working with a handful of transfer students. Those are the ones that are very concerned right now, because those who have been working really hard to meeting all those processes, they are in a limbo where they're not sure if they should continue on for this fall. So we're trying to work individually and try to meet to continue customizing to each individual student. Typically on a normal work week while we were at the school, a lot of our appointments are already planned for us through the students. They would set it up. We would have our whole week planned for. Okay. At this time, with the pandemic and working from home, we are literally working on the fly. Anytime when a student is available, we if we're, not with a student, we drop what we're doing, and it makes it a little harder because we aren't planned, but yet we have to do it during, that moment, that session, to look up their accounts and stuff.
Right.
So a lot of it is extra communication. We have the time for it now. So both Alejandra and I, we've kind of seen our contacts double, triple. Sometimes it's hard to even get my notes in.
I'm not
surprised.
But I'm not surprised.
Yes, and it's good. Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, and I know I'm rambling here.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. Another huge difference is that, we're stationed in the library, and now we don't get to see the same students we see daily. They used to just cross by the library because they're on their way to classes. We don't get that type of contact anymore. No one's swinging by and reaching out to us, so we're reaching out to them.
Yeah. Right. I want to take this opportunity to tell students, especially if you're in the TRIO program, is you would make things a little bit easier on these ladies if you would reach out as well. Right. That's why if you want to see their face, which I would, that's why we have these Zoom sessions. Right. And again, they're reaching out to you, but we do need, it's a two-way bridge. We want you to take an active role in your education. Right. And that means, doing that same thing every day. Right. Doing the same thing. We need consistency in what your plans are every day, especially when locked down like this. Alejandra, so check this out. So what do you see that's probably the best way of contacting students when on lockdown at home? What has worked for you? What has maybe not worked for you?
I think we've really adjusted based on what the needs of the students are. So there's been some students that Zoom has worked really well, but there's some students that don't like using their camera. So we can do Zoom meetings without you having to show where you're at or things like that. Some people like doing Zoom on their phone, and then it's harder for them to be able to turn the camera on their phone. So we've just done Zoom meetings without having to actually display it. But then we've done remind messages, which is the application that we use for our students to get on our TRIO groups. So reminds worked really well, and then Canvas messaging on inbox has been really helpful too, because students a lot of the times have that connected directly to their phone. Right. So it just makes it easier for them to just send messages through there. And we also have a Facebook page that we would love our students to stay a little bit more connected with. And we just created a new Twitter and Instagram page too. So we're trying to keep up to date with the times that are changing.
Wow. I tell you what. And Sarah, I'm going to get to you, right? I'm going to get to you soon.
I know.
I'm going to get to you soon. So one more thing, I guess, that jumps in my mind. is tutoring, right? If I'm taking classes and I don't have that math person I can sit down with anymore, or someone to even I can read a paper to or whatever. If I was a TRIO student, how might I reach out and do those things? Anybody?
We have several tutors working for us. Also, the tutoring center, but the coordinators can tell you the details about tutoring.
Okay. Any of you, Alejandra, Trang?
I'll answer this one. So during our stay-at-home order, we still continue with our peer and professional training. I know it's kind of difficult for our tutors as well, but as long as there's that open communication, we are still providing that as long as they're willing to work with our students. Sometimes it's a little difficult to meet the availabilities, so we always still refer to the CLC. If there is any chance that any of our students are needing specific subjects to be tutored on, we just ask that they give that request to us and we will help or find placement for them. But if there's anybody out there wanting to tutor our students, we would love to hear. Please contact us, because it is a paid service that we can provide and hopefully find assistance for our students that are in need of it.
Wow, and we're going to be posting this on Facebook and the Western Iowa Tech page. So all you got to do is reply with the tutor. If you can tutor yourself, hey, you can definitely make some money from home. So that is not a bad thing. Now, all this stuff has to be stressful, right? And I know my administrative assistant, shouts out to Martha, she's at home right now, and I don't know what I would do with her. She keeps me like kind of stress-free, right? So my question to you, Sarah, is, being that Martha is kind of the backbone of what I do, how do you support them and them not stressing the heck out all the time? How do you put all the pieces together?
Honestly, I don't really know. I just try to keep a balance of everything. I know what they need.
Okay.
I try to go into their brain. And yeah, pretty much. And a lot of times I'm always told I get what they need, and sometimes more, just like even like the cultural activities, the workshops and everything, since they're so focused on services, which is great for the TRIO students. I'm trying to help them out as much as I can. So I help them with that part. So they can focus on the Zoom services, the FAFSAs, helping the students. I even thought of like the bingo card we have out for the TRIO students. It's like a participation edition. So that also helps them get their services, but it's also fun for the students at the same time. So I don't know, it's just kind of good. It's a good balance between us all.
Now I want you all to share, we're going to kind of maybe get a little personal with you, right? After we log off, which we probably never log off, right? But after we try to sit down somewhere and watch television or whatever, what's your coping mechanisms? About your family, about whether or not, is things going to come back to normal? I mean, I'm sure there's some things that are happening in all of our lives, right? That's other than what we work for, the school that we work for and the students we work with. How do you guys cope with just the ordinary personal crap? Anybody? Anyone?
A good coping mechanism for me actually is sometimes we just do like a family game night. So try to go back to the norm. Don't focus on the bad news. Don't focus on any of that. Just worry about what's going on now with your life. That tends to help me out. Just relaxing a little bit.
Nice.
Because this will get better.
It will get better. Lily, how about you?
I like to take long walks in the evening around 7 p.m. My hobby is cook. You all know that. So I turn to channel to Food Network. That's the only channel that talks about what I like, and it doesn't talk about any politics. It doesn't talk about nothing that's going on. It just talks about fun, delicious food.
Wow. And I'm gaining some weight over this quarantine thing, y'all. I was losing weight, and then, man, anyway, I don't know. So anybody else want to share some coping mechanisms besides eating? Because I don't need to hear about that.
I think mine is very similar to Lily's. I like to take my dog on really long walks, and that's usually what helps me just clear my mind, ease all the tension that's going on during the day, and just take a step back and really reflect on everything that's going on. And it kind of puts things into perspective, like how grateful you should be like throughout like a regular time, and it really makes you appreciate things.
Amen. Amen. How about you, Trang, to put you on a spot?
So, it's probably a bad habit, but I practice escapism. So I spend a lot of time playing mobile game apps and then maybe watching some videos, shows here and there. But I try to limit my news, try to get away from a lot of the negative aspects, kind of try to look into what I can be working on, whether it's a personal or professional goal. But so far, I just want to try to get through this semester with only 3 weeks left. I want to see as many of our students as possible. It's kind of different being at home. I thought like this whole pandemic thing, personality, I made for it. But then I realized how often I call these ladies up. And then I'm like, maybe I'm not so much like a homebody, but just being able to have that communication, even though it's not physical, being able to just catch up with people and just to make sure that they're doing okay.
Too much of anything is bad for you, right? Now, I got something from each of the ladies, right? With Lily, the eating thing, I got to eat, right?
Yeah.
Right? And then Alejandra, I go walking, but not with dogs, right? I don't do the dog thing. And Lily walks as well. I love games, Sarah. I love games. I love board games, right? And Trang.
Have you ever heard of Ticket to Ride, Mike?
Ticket to Ride. No.
That is good.
No, I've never heard. I'm going to have to Google that.
All right, well, we're going to play it as soon as we get back.
I'm going to have to Google. Yeah, okay, that's what's up, right? And Trang the phone, and I need to probably stay away from the news, right? I really need to stay away from the news. So before I let you ladies go, what we're going to ask you is if you can tell a student something in minimal words, to give them something to get through this, besides using the whole paragraph, minimum words, what would you tell them? I know I put you on a spot, but, gotcha. All right, go ahead, Lily.
Life can change in just a split second. Education is going to get us places.
Amen. Anybody else?
Can I just say I like lilies?
Mike, I miss you all. I really miss everybody.
Yeah.
This thing with the virus changed everything. I miss seeing Sarah and Trang and Laura and Alejandra and you, Mike.
Yeah.
You're my buddy.
And me too, you guys. It's I think we'll have a lot of energy pent up when we do get back. You know what I'm saying? Because I miss my office, and you guys know I survive off students. And I got my kids, right? And they're students, and I see them studying. But seeing students study and all their optimistic thinking, it just gives me gives me energy. I don't know. And someday
Mike, since I've been
Pardon me?
Since I'm doing my master's degree right now, I'm doing one of right now. The main thing I would actually tell students is, you still got to think of yourself too. Don't always just, be on the computer constantly. You can get overly frustrated. You can get all sorts of things. It really helps just to put things aside for a minute, calm down, regroup.
So you guys, that's two of four. I'm still missing 2 people.
Yes.
Um, so we frequently tell ourselves that we don't have time for anything. And with the way things are right now, I mean, with the pandemic, it gives us quite a bit of time because, like I said, like our lives are somewhat put on pause. But during this time, you know, the effort is what efforts make us. So if we are constantly working on getting better, keep practicing on things, I mean, with practice, nothing gets worse. So whether it be your homework, whether it's just taking care of like, you know, the house, family, your, you know, just yourself even, those efforts is what's going to get you through a lot in your life. And, you know, this is like a good time to start, if any. But, you know, also like on the side of academics, you know, with guidance and assistance, if we can provide any support, you know, don't hesitate to reach out to us because we want to be there to cheer you for your accomplishments too.
Wow. And certainly last but not least, right? Alejandra,
Back for last.
give it to us, Alejandra. Give it to us.
Yeah, I would say that the biggest thing that I think about as a piece of advice is embracing the moment and enjoying college as much as possible because it goes by very quickly and sometimes you're all caught up in your classes and that's all you do and you don't really get the full picture of it. So I think that when we jump back into with opening back up again, I think that's something that our students should really take advantage of, really getting the most out of their college experience. Because like I said, it goes by so quickly and sometimes you wish you were still in college.
Wow. Wow. You know, I always try to get something from my interviews. That's what I'm trying to do. And Trang, you made a statement that I've never heard before, and I'm 50, right? With practice, nothing gets worse. I've never heard that before. I've never heard that before, right? And that is actually true. If you think about it, you can't get worse, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Trio students, Western Iowa Tech students, trust these ladies. They got a passion for education. You know, you can tell it in their voices. They're a team, and they work along with my team as well to get people educations. So again, I want to leave you guys with students, please reach out to your instructors, reach out to the support staff, you know, call someone if you need something. We got a counselor, we got disabilities coordinator. We've done many interviews with these people. So please don't let the year catch you with your work undone, all right? Because it would be bad, all right? So, well, thank you guys for giving me some time. And Trio freaking rocks, you guys. That's what it is. So,
Thank you.
Godspeed.
Thank you for inviting us.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Have a good day,
Bye.
everybody.